want to talk about another interesting development, and I can't tell you about how quickly we were able to have this come together, because again, at the Super Primo in July, we had a discussion about how can we make our offices more efficient, more economical, and less stressful for the doctor, for the boss. We're not really, our job is to make the staff work. But what if you could replace your staff, your office staff, with a state-of-the-art reception team? Well, I think I have the answer. It's MyStaffAnswers. It's a way for you to cut the hassle and get better efficiency. Let's look at this. Well, I really need to have a staff person. I need to hire somebody, and I need him right now because Mary's sick, or Mary's bad, or I have a big TV day coming up. I have a big, hiring staff is the worst thing I do. I have to tell you, a few years ago, well, many, many moons ago, when I practiced in upstate New York, I went through 16 secretaries over the summer. Maybe it was the heat. I don't know. But what they said to me when they quit was, I'm going to lunch. So it's not my forte. So I fear firing somebody because I have to hire somebody, and I have to go through all that hassle again. And I'm stressed, and I got to hire somebody on the quick because we need help. We need help to run our offices. We can only do so much. I run 5 businesses. I'm writing ad copy. I'm putting stuff. I'm just doing so many things. If I didn't have MyStaffAnswers working for me, I couldn't accomplish all the things I do. I couldn't go away for 3 weeks in Italy and have my staff handled. Okay? Because who are these people that we hire? They're a little nuts, aren't they? How do we get along with these people? Oh, I have a great staff person. She's been with me for 15 years. Yeah, and she's been stealing money from you for 5. You don't really understand it, the psychology of the people that you work with and how they can really mess things up in your office. I do love my job. Don't they all just love their job? All the staff people? Because that's what we're set up for, right? To give people a great environment. No, it's hard work working in a doctor's office. You have to do high-level activities, very few mistakes, and there's no upside. What do you get to do? How do you move up in this job? Really? How do you move up? What's the next level? You don't get to be the doctor. What, you might be the person that doesn't clean the toilets if you're if you have more than 2 staff people. So they really don't love their job. They love their paycheck, and they love to get away with as much as they can. So not only do you have to hire them, then you have to train them. Every aspect of the job needs to be trained. How do you work the computer? Millie, how do you answer the phone? And I see the majority of doctors failing when they do neuropathy care or even in their office because they do not understand how to handle the phone in a new patient encounter, especially with a neuropathy patient. It's a sales job. And you know what? Most staff people who show up in the doctor's office love it because there's no sales involved. I don't have to be pressured. I don't have to do anything. I just have to sit there. He doesn't know what's going on when I answer the phone. There's no rhyme or reason. So you have to hire him. You have to train him. What if you don't even have a good phone technique? What if you don't have a script? What if you don't have any training? What if you're just like, hey, go there and tell the patients to come back? Then you're in real trouble. So it's all the money you're spending on your leads. You may spend $1,000 to get 2 calls. That's $500 a call. And the staff is like chewing gum. Or they're cleaning, or they're going to the bathroom, or they're taking care of it, or they're checking a patient's insurance, or they're putting on a therapy, and their mind is distracted. So you have to train them up, and then you have to evaluate them. Well, Millie, you could have done better. Yeah. But the patients, that was a bad bunch of calls we got. Really. So I spent $2,500 for a TV spot and you answered the phone, and because your kid couldn't come in, you were sick, your kid had a nosebleed, you couldn't come in, and what happens to all my calls? We have to evaluate their training and grade their performance. And you know what? Who's got time for that? Really? I mean, this is where you fall. You don't check what you check gets, gets done. What you don't check doesn't happen. Again, this is eating into your time, and the bigger hassle your staff gives you, the more you have to check, the more time you have to handhold, then you have to retrain and go through this whole thing. And I know I'm talking to you. I know you hear what I'm saying. Because you have to review them, you have to have the hassles of disciplining them when they screw up if you want to confront. Okay? So it's costing you money, they don't want to do it, and then you know what happens? You're fired. Let me do that again. You're fired. That's always a fun day, isn't it? Because what do you have to do then? You have to help wanted, got to train him, got to evaluate him, right? Got to reevaluate him, and every time, you know what? You got one staff person, that's a joy, but everything comes back to the boss. I'm the boss and you're not. I'm the boss and you're not, which means you have to make all the decisions. All those things fall to you. So the only person that really suffers in this situation is the boss. Instead of being the boss, you're getting pushed around by staff. Okay? The most important thing is you are not at the front desk. You are not listening to those patient calls. You are at the mercy of your insane staff. You have to realize, just because they get adjusted once in a while doesn't mean they're healthy. Okay? So, who's the boss, really? Who's the boss in that office? Well, the guy who's handling the most things. And I have to tell you right now, your staff, when that phone goes off, it's an alarm to them because they know they're out to bat. And that might not be their favorite thing, talking on the phone. Listen to the technique. I have worked for the past year and a half to perfect my phone technique, and it still wasn't good enough. It still didn't do it. We had to fire the staff person who's been with us the longest because she wouldn't adapt. She wouldn't do what I told her. Because you know what? Following her around was not my main job description. Right? Making sure she did everything was not my main job description. Because you know what? I really don't want to talk on the phone. I'd rather just play on my phone or play on the computer or text my friends. But when that office phone rings, it's a hassle. You know? And this is the attitude that a lot of these guys have. So what is the most important thing your staff does? Well, the most important thing is making appointments, new patient appointments. I mean, that's the lifeblood, creating the rapport, getting them in the door. You're spending money for advertising, and if you aren't converting your appointments higher than 50% of the phone calls that come in, you are going to suffer. Your office is going to suffer. What is the most important thing you want them to do? How effective are they at doing either one of those things? How effective are they at doing two things at once? Not very good. That is the biggest hassle that we found. Being able to professionally take care of all the calls that we're getting. Now, when we do a TV commercial or when we do a marketing piece, these calls can come at us, a lot. And we needed a professional call center. And we worked for months and months and months to try. They couldn't even answer the phones, these people. People, it was a disaster. Thousands of dollars down the tubes. We'd have patients, prospective patients, yelling and arguing with the phone center call center people that we were using because we couldn't handle. Our phone system literally cannot handle 17, 18, 20 calls in the same minute. When the ads come out, boom, that's how it goes. On and on and on. 50, 60, 100 calls. not only couldn't find a call center, an answering center to take care of these things, when we found one, they were missing 30% of our calls. So I would spend the money for marketing. They would miss 50%, 30% of the calls. Never got answered because it was too much for them to handle. Okay? What I'm trying to say is we've come up with a solution by partnering with our own call center here in Phoenix, Arizona, one of the finest in the country. We can effectively not only answer all the calls, professionally answer the calls, we can book the appointments also. So we can handle all the questions, get them down, and come up with an appointment. Live scheduling right now. And it's called MyStaffAnswers. Okay? Not your staff, my staff. Because really you want your staff to be what? A professional unit, a group of people who are specifically trained. It is their job to be nice, professional, and answer the phone. Right? I mean, I have my friend Tim here, who's my co-sponsor of this group. I mean, you know, Tim, are you there? Can you hear me?
I'm here, sir.
I
want to thank you, first of all,
for
letting me be here. It's been an honor and a pleasure working with you and your callers, by the way.
Yeah, you know, when I talk with you, and we've been working on this for the past 2 months, the funny thing is that, you know, I tell you that I hate to hire, right? And you're telling me that in your group here of people, how many people do you screen a week, are you telling me the other day? 17 people come in for a job?
I'll
Right?
say out of the 17, we may get a good one. We're very particular. We did a large an ad for new employment, and we got it was like a monster ad, and we got about 300 candidates that came through our door. We do screening for spelling, typing, comprehension, just the simple stuff before we even let them see what we do, just to make sure. And we got about a 3% turnaround from those 300. So we hired about 3 or 4 people, but not 3 to 6 people, actually, from that group of 300. Now, it's very timely, but we find it to be worthwhile if we can find the talent that will stick around and be able to execute what we are expecting from our
just let me just say this for a second. So just this thought of having my minimal office people, my little people, screen 300 possible candidates for a job that I want to do, it is just ridiculous. You have an HR center. You have a human resource center right there. This is the real deal. Their job is to evaluate the hundreds and hundreds of people that come on to find the perfect ones, and then we're going to train them for 3 months to make sure that they can follow everything they're supposed to do. This is a real company, one of the 500 best companies. What is that? What do you got there, Tim? What do you got over there? One of the 500 best.
We actually last year, we got the Inc. 500 fastest growing companies in the United States. So we went for. We're not as proud of that as we are as the top companies to work for. Arizona 2013.
That's right.
Top 50 companies. And we bring these people in, and that's why it's such a it's a big deal to get past that first step, because we start them off at $13 an hour at the very base level. And with the MyStaffAnswers program, those aren't even the people that are working with your callers yet. They don't have the skill set yet, according to us. So we bring them on, and they have to be with us for at least 90 to 120 days before they would be doing the types of services that the MyStaffAnswers program are.
And I'm just telling you, this is what you need. You need to have your staff focusing on doing the stuff that makes you money in the office, and letting this guy right here, where's my man? This man or woman right here be the supervisor of these callers. That's the way I like to do it. I have time to do my stuff because I outsource. And this costs less than not only does it reduce the hassles, it's going to be more efficient, and it costs less than a staff person that I have to, I can't come in today because Johnny's got a earache. Well, I got 30 patients to see, and I just ran an ad, and I'm expecting to get these calls. So how about they watch, record, know everything that's going on, and they're trained to do this job. That's what I like. And they're super nice. They're the best group that we've had. Just to show you some them at work, and this is I have to blur some of these because you cannot see the screens. But this is a professional organization. That's the new what do they call that room there?
Yeah, the lounge. You can call
A
that.
staff lounge where they can chill and get fired up. And the bottom line is,
else, Doctor.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, I heard you talking about the inconsistency when you have potential patients on the line. You don't know what your staff's going to be doing in house, and you don't know what they're going to be able to feed back to these potential patients. And what really hits home with our most satisfied customers is our consistency. And we 24/7 coverage. You don't need to worry about employee retention, like you mentioned earlier, vacations, benefits, any kind of overhead like that, overtime, and we never call out sick. So that's something to consider too.
Tell me about it. You know, that's the greatest thing is these guys are scheduled. They work for a lot of different companies, and their job is to be there, answering the phone, and doing a great job. And I just want to point out that this is a full-blown, company, and I think that their phone system is a little bit more sophisticated than the whatever stuff that you think you're going to throw at it. This is top-flight stuff, and I know that people are interested in how they're going to get something of this. What's the job? What do they do? All you have to do to get this information is call 602-702-5506 so we can give you the particulars of how we can set your office up and get rid of all the hassles, increase your productivity way up the thing, reduce your hassle level, reduce your, what do they call that, not only your stress level, but your liability, problems that you can have with staff. How would you like to not have to pay unemployment for one more of these people? I don't want my rates going up. I'll let Tim take care of that. I don't have time to sit there and hold their hand and watch them easily make mistakes on all my patients for the first 2 months. I'll let Tim do that. That's what his job is. And with the matrix that we've put together, right, Tim? You train them how to go through this computer system, and it's set up. It's software. It's hardware. It's everything you need, plus the body, the butts in the seats to get it done. Right, Tim?
Don't mention the customization. And now let me pay the unemployment here at with the MyStaffAnswers program. We're basically all about the guaranteed live professional answer. Especially for new first-time callers to your practice, it translates to them into a patient-oriented atmosphere, and it doesn't interfere with your in-house staff at all. And they're most likely dealing with patients who are already scheduled and ready to go in-house.
And I think that for me, it's been an enlightening experience to work with such a professional company, get them up to speed, get them understanding what we're trying to do, and then they have like I'm in Casa Grande, we don't have the brain trust down here. I put out an ad down here, I'm scared. I'm scared of what people show up. I have to change my address afterwards. These people show up. So Tim is doing a great job up there. He's doing all the HR. He's doing the assessment. He's doing the hiring. He's doing the training, just so that I can have a product that my staff answers the phone the way I want it to be done, so that I can. They're beating my records. They're beating my numbers for scheduling appointments, and I'm just so pleased. And I know that if you want to reduce the hassles in your staffing problems, you just got to call 602-702-5506, and we'll get right with you. Anything else, Tim, you want to share?
No, I do look forward to any calls, and we'd be happy to talk to you, and thanks again for having me, Doctor.
Okay, boss. Well, I hope you got as much out of this webinar as I did. I sure thought it was the bomb. See if that's going to go. And take advantage of this, and we'll see you next month.